The Star Trek franchise is no stranger to time travel stories, from a comedy of The Voyage Home to the tragic love story that is The City on the Edge of Forever. They've been making them for decades, and they're often regarded as some of the franchise's strongest episodes. The two-part episode, Past Tense, from the third season of Star Trek Deep Space Nine is no exception. This episode shows how Benjamin Sisko saved humanity. But just what makes these episodes so relevant today? What's so special about this story? Well, September 2024 marks the time when the Bell Riots occurred in the Star Trek universe. This was a pivotal moment for humanity in the 21st century. Due to time travel, Sisko and crew would end up stuck in this tricky situation. Let's explore.
Sanctuary District, what year is this?
Same year as it was yesterday, 2024. Let's go.
Welcome to Trek Central. I'm your host Captain Jack, and let's get into it. Before we do warp into this video, if you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. Don't forget, you can use the chapter section in this video to navigate to which area you'd like. But as always, please answer your thoughts in the comment section below, because if you're talking about Star Trek, then we want to hear about it. Okay? Engage. It all started with a routine trip to Earth in the USS Defiant. No place like home, and nothing ever beats the view of Earth from orbit. Everything on the Defiant is running smoothly, nothing out of the ordinary. Almost too ordinary. Quark even found the time for a quick video call demanding some trademark favours, getting bested in the rules of acquisition by Sisko. Routine, safe, normal. But too normal for an interesting cold open to a Star Trek episode. Sisko, Bashir and Dax all beam down to Earth, but are never registered as having materialized on the planet's surface. Chief O'Brien and Major Kira are distraught, trying to figure out exactly what happened. It was as if they vanished from existence itself. They managed to work out that the group had materialized somewhere, but are unsure of where, although there was an excess of chronoson particles thanks to the Defiant's cloaking system, as well as a surge of temporal energy before the transport began. In reality, the trio have actually beamed down to Earth, although their home of the 24th century is far behind them, or far ahead of them, depending on how you think about it. They found themselves exactly where they're supposed to be, San Francisco. However, the year is 2024. Our current present day, if you're watching this in 24. But still, a distant pipe dream of a year when the episode aired in nearly 1995, almost 30 years ago. Time travel was nothing new, even visiting Earth's history had been done before, but a year in the actual production's future had never been done before. Not unlike the crazy imagination of Back to the Future Part 2's 2015 sequence, we're treated to a vision of Earth's future. We even get to see some of the social developments that made Star Trek possible in the first place. Unlike the trip in Back to the Future, however, we get with Past Tense is a far bleaker vision of what our world is like. Instead of flying cars and advanced 3D movies, we get the sanctuary districts, places designed for the homeless and disadvantaged to receive free housing and food. In practice, they quickly devolved into an overcrowded slum, large prisons for the poor and mentally ill. By 2024, there was at least one of these sanctuary districts in every major city in the United States. It's notably more conservative in its technological developments than other visions of future from popular culture. Of course, it's not totally accurate to our own lives in 2024, that would be absurd, but it feels pretty recognisable for the most part. In a lot of ways, this is supposed to be disturbing. The writers, Ira Stephen Bear and Robert Hewitt Wolfe, weren't aiming for an accurate technological depiction of the future. The episode's subject matter, the Bell Riots, and a resistance against the criminalization of homelessness was their target, loosely based on their experience seeing homeless people in California, as well as the famous Attica prison riot. The fake historical event the episode is based around is the Bell Riots, where, on September 1st, 2024, Gabriel Bell led an uprising in San Francisco's Sanctuary District A. The riot was started by a fight between a guard and a so-called DIM, which quickly escalated into the Sanctuary District residents, overpowering the guards and taking over the processing center. Gabriel Bell became the face of these riots, who acted as the liaison with the negotiator. These negotiations, and the residents broadcasting their stories to the American public, started a major shift in public opinion against the sanctuary districts. Despite all the good that was seemingly coming out of this, 2 days later, in the early hours of September 3rd, all hell broke loose. The governor of California ordered the National Guardsmen to take back control of the processing center by force. Hundreds of people, Bell included, were killed in the skirmish. In the aftermath, public opinion had shifted so much that the sanctuary districts were abolished shortly thereafter. For his lead role in protecting the hostages in negotiations prior to the government's assault, Gabriel Bell's name was immortalized in history, effectively turning him into a martyr. Their occurrence was so significant to Earth's cultural development that if they didn't happen, the Federation of Starfleet would never exist. Surely it would never happen, right? Right? Sisko's arrival unfortunately complicated things, throwing history off track. The real Gabriel Bell was killed defending Sisko and Bashir from a gang of antisocial thugs over food rations. Without Bell, the riots would never have happened. As a result, after he was killed, Kira, O'Brien, and the rest of the Defiant found themselves alone in space, a universe where the Federation no longer existed. This forced them to search through history to find which point in history had been altered, so they could find their lost crewmates and fix history, and save humanity, the Federation, and probably everybody else in the process. Sisko, the emissary of the Prophets, now have the weight of history on his shoulders. Unless he's able to find a way to save history, then humanity would be doomed. Thankfully, he doesn't need to think too much. Before long, a riot breaks out. Emerging from a crowd, armed with a shotgun, he stops the hostages from being injured, and announces his name as Gabriel Bell. Star Trek Deep Space Nine is a show where Avery Brooks frequently gives new definitions to the word acting, and this is no exception. It's a badass entrance for Sisko. Though born out of desperation and a need to keep history on track, he knows it could well end in his own death. According to the historical record, Bell perished during the riots. Doing what he believes could be sacrificing his own life to keep humanity on track, you cannot possibly get any more heroic than that, and that's what makes Sisko the best of Star Trek captains. But the story's not over yet. The episode affords the viewers not just a glimpse into the sanctuary districts, but also a look into the general public, seeing how they're perceived outside of that. While Sisko and Bashir are trapped in the sanctuary districts, struggling to negotiate their way out, Dax is far more fortunate. Instead of being arrested, she's found by Chris Brinner, a wealthy businessman. He takes her in and helps her set up her new identity. Seeing the disparity in how Dax and Sisko are treated in 2024 is what helps make the episode so powerful. While the struggles of the Sanctuary District is real, knowing how ignorant the general public is of the situation makes it all the more impactful. Brinner's company is responsible for things like internet access, as well as Channel 90, one of the main broadcast networks. During the riots, Dax managed to convince him to break the police's orders and reconnect to the Sanctuary District. This is what allows him to communicate with the outside world. Without Dax's influence, it's unclear how that would have happened. Perhaps this time trip was always meant to be. Outside of that, the events pretty much followed the historical record. It all went off without a hitch, slowly building up to the grand finale, the National Guard's raid on the center. Thankfully, Sisko was able to get away on a technicality. The surviving guards took their ration cards, with Sisko using bells, agreeing to list them as casualties of the skirmish. Shortly thereafter, Kira and O'Brien successfully narrowed down the right time period, allowing the group to beam back to the safety of the 24th century. History is still on the right course, the riot's still happening, all thanks to Sisko's on-the-spot thinking. Although the records are a little different, while safely back aboard the Defiant, Bashir points out that Gabriel Bell's profile in Starfleet now bears Sisko's picture. Perhaps it was always meant to be. Regardless, let's just hope that nobody else notices. Later on, this was stumbled upon by Nog in the episode Little Green Men. Thankfully, Quark's bigoted notion that all humans look alike saved the situation. Somehow, it seems to have slipped by the Department of Temporal Investigations. That is, unless you want to count the brief mention in the Star Trek Online novel, The Needs for Many, as canon. Even then, they just called it a little bit of a continuity error. So still, let's not draw too much attention to it. Still, 2024 of Star Trek is by no means the 2024 of today. Saying that, there have been some worrying developments of late, but still make this far more fact than fiction than we're comfortable with. The criminalization of homelessness, overcrowded shelters, cities who have outlawed sleeping on the streets. Perhaps we'll see our own timeline course correction sometime soon. At the end of the episode, Bashir and Sisko ponder how the people of the 21st century could have let it get this bad. They didn't have an answer then, and here in the real 2024, we still don't have one. It's a sad note to end the episode on, really forcing us to ponder what's going on in our own world. A scene that echoes heavier now than it did 30 years ago. So, that is the story of Benjamin Sisko, commanding officer of Deep Space Nine, emissary of the Prophets, frontline commander of the Dominion War, and we can now officially add savior of both Starfleet and the Federation's very existence in the timeline to his CV. Best of all, he did it in September of 2024, which is coincidentally when this video comes out. Funny how that worked out. Time travel, eh? Let us know what you thought of this video, and let us know what you thought of the episode which included the Bell Riots. It's pretty weird to think we're already in 2024 when that episode technically takes place. If you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here, at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. For now, I've been Captain Jack. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.